welcome to the PCSS Connection. I'm your host, Buddy Pearson, the Communications and Marketing Supervisor. Well, you know what? We have 3 schools, count them 3, from Putnam County who are going to be competing in the TSSAA state basketball tournaments this week and next week. That's right. This week, it's the Lady Bees who are making their 3rd straight trip to the TSSAA Girls State Tournament, competing in Class 3A. Lady Bees took on Greenville last night at the Murphy Center in Murfreesboro. Upperman defeated Greenville 64-49. It was Gracie Butler with 23 points, Taylor Delente with 6 3-pointers to score 18 points as the Lady Bees now advance to take on South Gibson tonight at 8:45 in the semifinals. Meanwhile, the Upperman Bees have advanced to the TSSAA Boys Class 3A State Tournament, which will be played next week. The Bees are going to be taking on Hume Fogg on Thursday, March 14th at 7:15 p.m. at the Murphy Center in Murfreesboro. And we'll have more on the Bees next week on the PCS Connection. Also, the Cookeville High Cavaliers are continuing their historic postseason run. The Cavs won the region championship for the first time in school history and then hosted a sectional game for the first time ever. The Cavs responded by defeating Bradley Central 69-60 to advance to the state tournament for the first time in program history.
Coming in hot. Shoot that shot, shoot why not? Ain't no big feel like pot. We can't lose, we can't stop, yeah, coming in hot. Coming in hot. Coming in hot. Shoot that shot. Hey, why not? Hey, why not? Hey, watch out. I'm coming in hot.
The Cavs, competing in Class 4A, will take on Maryville on Wednesday morning at 9:30 a.m., also at the Murphy Center in Murfreesboro. It's where that game will be played. And we'll have more on that game in next week's PCSS Connection as well. Well, we received some really good news this week. The Putnam County School System has 2 schools who are being recognized with a Purple Star School Award, which goes to schools who are committed to serving students and families connected to the military. And to my left, you see a couple of ladies from Monterey High School. So we know Monterey High School was one of the schools that have received the Purple Star Award, and that is Bree Wheeler. She is the principal. You know, Bree, you're like only the second person that's ever been on the PCSS Connection for a second time.
Oh, I feel very honored.
You should be very honored.
Very
yes.
honored.
And Amy Forrest. And Amy, now I know you teach social studies.
Yes.
Okay, great. So first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, how did this come about? Because for one, it seems like this is a really important award when you know they reach out and say you are being honored for serving students and families from the military. People sit up and take notice of that. So how did this come about?
Mm-hmm. Well, one of the first things when I met Miss Forrest, I told her about this award and how I had worked on a committee at Upperman High School in previous years, and kind of told her about what it meant and supporting military families and how important that was. And then, if she will, she can share the story about graduation and how we both just felt very called upon to apply for this.
Last year we had a senior whose mom was getting deployed, and she was going to miss graduation, and she was really upset. She wanted to Facebook live stream it, and I told her, don't worry about that. We will figure something else that your mom can be there for graduation. So her mom is halfway across the world, and we have a student that's set up on the front row, has an iPad filming this live so her mom can watch her graduate. We had her lead the pledge so her mom could see her front and center too. So that
How
was
special is
just
that?
it was I wanted to make it special for her because her mom was going to miss this big event in her life.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to give that to her, and she was so thankful. Her whole family was so thankful that we were able to do that.
Isn't that awesome? So what are some of the other things that Monterey High School might do to help serve military families?
So one of the things that we do when we apply is that we make a special spot on our website that shows that we are Purple Star School Award, and that means we do support military families, and we have additional links to support military families. We also have to show our dedication to military families throughout the school year, and we had a fantastic Veterans Day assembling program
Yes.
that we had Berks and Monterey came together, so it was a community event. It was well attended and well received. We also have to show appreciation, so we had our National Honor Society, which also Miss Forrest is the sponsor of, write cards, and we
Don't be
made
so
those.
bashful.
I know, and those are also very special because we have a former student that is deployed. And we sent those cards to his platoon
Wow.
for Christmas, for just a thank you and a Merry Christmas for that. And then in the spring, that we want to celebrate the month of the military child, which is in April.
Okay.
We will do that with a couple of different activities. One is to wear purple, which is not real hard
Yeah,
for Monterey
That's
to
right,
do.
yeah.
But we just want to show our support throughout the school year, and then also know, as families move in, that we are a school that supports military families.
Yeah. Well, you got a really nice letter from the Tennessee MIC3, which recognized you as a Tennessee Purple Star School Award winner. Reading that, I mean, it's just it's something that's got to make you feel good when you see that and that you're recognized for this kind of stuff.
Yes, I can't wait for the recognition.
You get a banner.
We get a banner. We're going to hang it proudly. Yes.
Now, has either one of you belonged to a military family? I mean, did you have anybody in your family that was in the military?
My dad served, and my father-in-law both served.
Okay. Amy?
And my dad, he served, he was stationed in Germany, and then my grandfather, he was a CB in World War II.
Wow. So you guys know what it's like to be from a military family and to have people in the military in your family as well. So you know how important this can be, especially, and there might be kids that move in and move out because they're military families, and,
Yes.
I'm sure that's things you have to consider as well.
And this gives the support because our requirements for our state may not be the same as the school that they are heading to, but this gives them leeway and it helps them transition into the school so that they will get credit for a class that we may not offer. They would still get credit from some sort, so they're not having to repeat and get behind in their credits
Oh, awesome.
for graduation.
Yeah. Now, is this something that you can get every year? Is it just come around every once in a while? But, I mean, how often can you receive this award?
So you receive it initially the first time, and then you have to reapply each and every year.
Okay.
And you have to do that and to showcase that you are still providing support to military families, and you have to send in evidence of your supports, pictures and flyers, and then we have to showcase that we did a professional development with staff. So those things have to be, you have to apply each year. You do get the recognition and the banner once, but you do have to kind of re-up each year to
Okay.
keep that recognition.
I got you. Now, Amy, how long have you been at Monterey High School?
This is my 16th year.
16th year
Yes.
at Monterey High School.
Yes, I've been there a while.
Now, do you feel like you've always kind of been military friendly, or is this something that's really just come up on the radar and that you want to make sure that you are?
I feel that we've been pretty military friendly, and because I went ahead and did that last year at our graduation, and I didn't even know about this award, so we've been very understanding because
Yeah.
we've had students that their brothers and sisters have had to miss school to go to their graduation from basic training, and we're understanding about that. So I think we've always been a pretty military friendly school.
Yeah. Well, I want to like you because you do some nice things, but you have an Auburn lanyard on, so I'm not really sure. Are you from? Did you go to Auburn?
No, my brother did, and here's something you may not realize. I think you grew up about 5 miles from where I grew up.
And
I'm in
so-
Hardin County.
Are you kidding?
I'm not.
Where'd you go to high school?
I went to Hardin County. I'm from Saltillo.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
I've got
Say,
cousins
hey.
in Saltillo.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
This was not planned. This
No.
is not scripted here. Seriously, I lived in Morris Chapel.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and we both went to Hardin County.
Yep.
Of course, I graduated in '85, which is a lot longer, way before you did.
Yeah, I was 2000. So.
Yes. Long gone by then. Saltillo, yeah, where they have the ferry that goes across the river.
Yeah, I guess I don't go there anymore much.
It's a small world.
Very.
Who knew? Now, Bree, this is your first year as the principal at Monterey High School, and already you're landing awards. Look at this.
Well, that's because I have a wonderful support system to help do so. So that's right. But we do. I want to make sure that, it's important that we do the things, but it's also important that we put those labels on those things so that we can make sure that everyone knows, community members and folks coming in and moving out, that we are a military family-friendly school.
Do y'all have big plans for spring break?
No.
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 Sleep?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That just kind of.
Maybe read.
No. Nobody's going to the beach. You're not going to Saltillo. Not going.
No.
You can ride the ferry.
No. I don't think this. My niece and nephew, they're going to our same high school.
Okay.
I don't know when their spring break is.
Gotcha.
So probably it doesn't coincide.
Well, I will say I will be going to Murfreesboro to watch our schools
play in the state
championships.
Yes,
I will be there
that is
for
going to
those.
be exciting stuff. Well, congratulations to you both, and I really think that people need to really understand what this means, that Monterey High School is a military-friendly school, and you're being recognized that with a Tennessee Purple Star School Award. This is a big deal. This is a big deal for Monterey. It's a big deal for Putnam County schools, because these are the kind of things we want to be known for, is
Absolutely.
military-friendly and serving students and families of our military. And what's so great is you guys were already doing that and doing things not to get the award, but you've been rewarded because you've already been doing those things.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Well, Amy Forrest, Bree Wheeler, thank you so much for being on the PCS Connection podcast. And Amy, we got some stories we got to share.
No,
Okay.
Thanks so much.
thank you.
Thank you.
Well, besides Monterey High School, Cookeville High School has also been recognized as a Purple Star Award winner for its commitment to serving students and families in the military. And joining me now from Cookeville High is Amy Rouchon, who is an assistant principal. I said that right, didn't I?
Yes, sir, you did.
I did. Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So Bree Wheeler was here from Monterey, and she said that you and her had actually worked on this when you both were at Upperman High School a few years back. And so now you're at Cookeville High, she's at Monterey, and now look, you two have helped your schools earn Purple Star Awards.
Absolutely. I remember she approached us possibly a possibility for Upperman High School to achieve this, and we worked together and we were able to do it. And so I think when we went our separate ways, we saw how important it was, and so we both took the initiative to kind of apply it for our individual schools now.
Yeah. Well, now what does this mean for Cookeville High School to be recognized as a Tennessee Purple Star School Award winner?
I think it's important because we are such a big school and we do have a diverse population. It's kind of neat to think about how our students have a military background relations. And so it's kind of neat to think that we're not a military hub here in Middle Tennessee, but we do have quite a few families that are that have some military background. And so in order to better assist them with the transition of them relocating here, that I felt that it was important for Cookeville High School to be recognized as a Tennessee Purple Star school, so that way we can provide those accommodations for them.
So what are some of the things that you do at the high school that kind of accommodates students or military families?
Sure. So we have, not only am I trained, but also the counselors are trained in assisting them with the transition, the academic transcripts and things like that,
Okay.
As well as credit checks to ensure that the credits that they have already received will transfer over, and that way they won't have to retake any courses, and that they'll graduate on time, and that's an important aspect of it. But more importantly, I think it's providing the military family recognition and providing some events to help them be recognized for that, because our military children ideally serve as well.
Yeah.
In essence, and I think it's important for them to be recognized and understand that they are a special group that deal with special problems. And I think that being the Purple Star School provides us the tools and resources that we are needed to provide that for them.
Now, you know about being in a military family because you've been in the military.
Sure.
So tell us about your experience.
Absolutely. So I was in the military for a little bit, and I got out, but then I happened to marry into military. And then, of course, we had children. And so I experienced firsthand the difficulties of having my students or my own kids transition from school to school.
Sure.
I believe my own son has transitioned to several different schools within a short period of time. And it was very helpful when the schools identified the transition. And so it was very easy for me to have them register without any hardship or anything like that. But when we came to Tennessee, it was a little different
Yeah.
because it's not a military town.
Right.
And so Putnam County Schools did a wonderful job and made it very easy for me to have their transcripts transferred over. But then it made me kind of think about, well, what about the other families that might not have the resources or
Sure.
information that is needed? So
Right.
I think when Bree approached this with me, it was near and dear to my heart.
Yeah. Well, and obviously, you've done the right things because 2 schools you've been at now have won the Purple Star Award. So that's got to make you feel good.
It does. It does. There's a lot of work that's involved
Yeah.
in acquiring this achievement. But once it's all in place, I just think maintaining it and having that community support to provide highlights and assistance to provide some support, it's just an easy thing. So our next goal, as we discussed earlier, is hopefully that we'll have other Putnam County schools
Yeah.
on board with this, and we have the entire county involved.
And then also to keep getting this renewed year after year so that Cookeville High will continually be known as a Tennessee Purple Star School Award winner.
Absolutely, because it's called the Military Family Education Liaison works together, and it's a living compact, and so it does change
Yeah.
from time to time. So it's important, and I believe it's every 2 years we do have to renew our award through professional development.
Now, how long have you been at Cookeville High School?
This is my first year.
Your
at
first
Cookeville.
year?
Yes.
Wow, that's awesome. Now, you were at Upperman before. Is that where you've been? Is that pretty much the whole time that you've been in the Putnam County school system?
Yes, with Upperman High School.
Yeah. How many years have you been in the school system?
So here at Putnam County, this is my 4th year.
Okay, great.
Yes.
And where were you at before then?
In North Carolina.
Yeah.
Yes.
You like Putnam County?
I do, absolutely love it.
Well, tell us a little bit about your family. You said that you married into a military family, so
Yes. So interestingly enough, we have no ties here in Tennessee.
Wow.
We just happened to drive through one spring break and absolutely
saw it beautiful and
fell
yeah.
in love. And we did consider about our children having to move
Mm-hmm.
quite often. And so my husband sacrificed at the last duty station. And so he commuted back and forth from the Pentagon while we went ahead and established roots down here.
Wow.
And then, of course, he just retired last year after 22 years in the Marine Corps. And
Awesome.
this is our forever home. So we're excited to be here.
So great. Now, how many kids do you have?
3 kids.
Yeah.
Yes. I got 2 at Cookeville High School and 1 at Avery Trace Middle School.
All right.
Yes.
So, wow. Now we're learning a little bit about the Rouchon family.
Absolutely.
Well, congratulations again. And I know this speaks volumes when you have a school the size of Cookeville High School and that you're winning awards like this that shows just the commitment to military families. And for you personally, I know that you know what it's like. You know what
Yes.
it's like to go from town to town and how it can be for kids to come in and not know anybody and have to go through this process of transferring credits and doing all these things to have somebody there that can help them and be recognized for it.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you very much. It was
Great.
an honor.
And joining us now here on the PCS Connection, if you've been involved in music in Putnam County in any way, and I won't say how many years, let's just say it's been a good while, but Clarissa Miller, who is the music teacher at Capshaw Elementary. Now, how long have you been at Capshaw?
I have been at Capshaw for 23 years.
23 years.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
So you have seen a lot of music come and go
I
during that
have,
time.
indeed I have.
Well, just talk to us about your experience. What has kept you at Capshaw for that long?
Well, first of all, go Cougars. It's a great
Yeah.
school. It's a great school with a real sense of family, a real sense of what is important to help the whole child grow. We are very academically oriented. However, there's also an understanding that the academics are enhanced by the arts.
Sure.
So the arts have always been a very important part of life at Capshaw. So for that, I am very, very grateful. But also, it's just a different kind of place. It makes you feel like you're home.
Yeah.
You can tell when you walk in our building
Right.
that something special is happening in our building.
Yeah.
And that's because of our children and our parents. Our families are the best. I know that everybody's going to say that their school has the best, which is really what you should say.
Sure, yeah.
But there's just really something special about our families. They are they're dedicated to their children's education. They work extra hard for what we are able to do at our school because we are not a title school.
Right.
So there's always a misconception about my school and the things that our children have access to, which if we have those things, it's because our parents work so hard for them.
Sure.
And so that's really wonderful about a community in our school who has to work a little extra harder to make things happen for our school. But, we do it with a happy heart, and it's a wonderful thing.
Well, and to be there for 23 years, to be a music teacher, probably anywhere in the Putnam County system or a lot of school systems in the state of Tennessee over that time period, to me it seems like, okay, now there's a movement to make sure that we have more of the visual arts and things like that in school. And I know we're making a push to include it in our middle schools, but you have been at the elementary school level for this long.
Yes.
And to me, that is rare.
Yeah, it's really, really important to me to lay that foundation.
Yeah.
Because if children don't have a solid foundation, if they don't have those roots that are strong and firm, you can't build on it.
Right.
And so I look at my children, I call them my children. They are 18 years old now, but these children who are performing in Les Mis right now for Michael Schode at the high school, those children, a majority of the cast were my Capshaw kids.
Yeah.
And to see year after year, watching them grow and watching them do what they do as they get older, whether it's in band or in choir, is so rewarding to me because I know that they wouldn't have that appreciation had they not been able to have that firm foundation when they were children.
Yeah.
So, I always tease Mr. Schode and tell him that he gets all the glory because they're the last thing that he sees.
You started training them at a young age.
That's right. But he is so good to say, you guys wouldn't be able to do this if Miss Miller hadn't taught you that.
That's right.
And so, although he is the last thing that they have, I was there first, and that's very meaningful to me. Very meaningful.
Now, tell us about growing up. Where are you from originally?
I'm from Fayetteville, Lincoln County,
Yeah.
and it's close to Huntsville, Alabama.
Right.
I did not have music in my school until I was in the 7th grade.
Really?
So I guess that's another reason why I think it's so important for my children, my school children, to have access and to be able to do all of the things that I wish that I had access to earlier.
Sure.
Sometimes my children are like, why can't we sing Taylor Swift today? That's because you do that all the time.
Yeah.
And then it comes around and they think, oh, wow, I'm so glad we can sing in Spanish and we can sing in German and we can do that. We don't hear those things on the radio, Miss
Right.
Miller. So exposing them to things that they don't get every day is really nice. And ironically, they sing German better than they do English. So tell me why that's so, and I'll we can retire.
I don't know that I would sound good in any language, so it doesn't matter. But so after the 7th grade, you were introduced to music in school. Did you
Yes.
know then that you wanted to be a music teacher?
I always knew that I wanted to be in music. I
Okay.
didn't know how it was going to happen.
Uh-huh.
I was a horn player. I
Okay.
started in band, and so I came to Tech because of the horn professor at Tech. They came and performed at my high school, and I thought, oh, I want to be that.
Yeah.
I want to be able to do that. So I came to Cookeville as a horn player. And I stayed as an elementary music teacher. So when I was in college, about, I guess, my sophomore year, I started working with Cumberland Children's Chorus, and that changed my life.
Wow.
I had a music ed professor who was phenomenal, and a voice professor who just took me under their wing and let me work with those children. And I knew that's where my home was going to be, with children's voices and giving them that foundation.
So when you graduated from Tech, did you go right to Capshaw?
I did not, actually. I started working at Baxter Elementary School.
Okay.
I worked there for 6 years, and it was kindergarten through 6th grade.
Right.
I wanted some experience teaching those older children, and I had 2 choirs. I had like maybe 12, 13 classes a day.
Yeah.
It felt, but I was out to save the world back then when I was so young, and I didn't realize that was a lot.
Yeah.
And I loved every minute of it. By the time I left Baxter, we had performed at state conventions. They were singing in multiple languages.
Yeah.
I had 100 kids in 3rd and 4th grade choir and 100 kids in 5th and 6th grade choir. And so it was an experience that I would not trade for anything. And then so after 6 years, I went to Capshaw, and that's where my home has been ever since.
How many kids do you think have come through Capshaw that you have had in music?
Well, we have about over 500 students currently.
Right.
And so, I was kind of thinking about that not
Yeah.
long ago. And I'm guessing that since I can't go to Walmart without seeing a child I've had,
Right.
past, present,
Yeah.
that I can't even begin to imagine.
In the
It's
thousands, easy.
Thousands,
Yeah.
yes, easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
And I think one of the things that's neat is they don't just come in class. You don't just teach them songs. You go to Disney World and you take the choirs there and they get to sing and perform. And you get to go
Yes.
to the symphony and they get to play the recorders
Yes.
with the symphony. And there's a lot of different things than just kids coming in and learning some
Absolutely.
songs and
Yes.
singing.
I have administrators who really value those opportunities outside of the classroom. And to take my whole 3rd grade to the Nashville Symphony, it's a huge undertaking.
Yeah.
And we prepared music for them. They actually performed with the symphony this year, which was really different, a whole immersion into the arts. And so we've been discussing it after the performance, and they were just like, oh, I was so nervous. It was so big. It was so, because they in their mind, they were going to be the only ones performing,
Right, yeah,
So it was an incredible experience for them, and watching them do that. I know I sent you a couple of videos, and you can
Yes.
just tell in their face
Yes.
how involved and how excited and happy they were to be able to do that. So we have done wonderful things like that. Grade level,
Yeah.
I take my kids to the Country Music Hall of Fame.
Right.
They do some experiences with, is it a fiddle or a violin?
Yeah.
And
Well, it
for all
depends.
the-
If you're from the South, it's a fiddle. If you're playing classical music, it's a violin.
Exactly. So, and my kids are like, you know what the difference is? A fiddle has strings. Yes, yes. So, some dad told that, I'm sure.
great.
So yes, we do that program when they're younger,
Mm-hmm.
and then in May, my 4th graders are doing a songwriting
Wow.
with the Country Music Hall of Fame.
Is that right?
They are. So
That is so awesome.
they're keeping a journal and
Yeah.
writing down their ideas, and then they're putting those ideas together to make a song. And so we will do that in May and have a nice little field trip there. But so I seek out those opportunities for our kids so that they can have those memorable things, because although math is very exciting, and it's necessary. They're going to remember going to the Country Music Hall of Fame,
Right,
for
exactly,
sure.
yes. Well, and you also introduce them to different instruments.
Yes, yeah.
They get to play the violin. I know. I'm not so sure if I'll ever forgive you for introducing my daughter to the violin, but we enjoyed it for a while. It was good. Her singing was better than her violin playing.
She was great.
But there's so much more to it, and I think that's
Yeah.
what the average parent or maybe folks understand is it's more than just coming
Absolutely.
in and learning a song.
We have national standards, just like a classroom teacher.
Yeah.
And all of those standards build on each other, and so I am my feeder program. So if I don't teach something in kindergarten,
Yeah.
it is my fault in 1st grade,
Yeah.
and I have to figure out how to backtrack. So
Wow.
if we miss for COVID, if we miss for anything, I'm behind in my standards, just like a classroom teacher.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we do have so much fun in our classroom
Yes.
that it's hard to know that, oh, we're meeting this standard to teach rhythm to these children, to be able to perform alone and with others, and to be able to do all that. And this month is actually Music in Our Schools Month.
That's
and
great.
So,
March,
so
yeah.
this is a time where I like to really show our parents how significant the arts are for
Yeah.
their children. So after spring break, we'll be having some music trivia announced on the intercom every day, and
How fun.
I'll send home a little newsletter type thing so that the parents can kind of have an idea about how important we and how much we value music at Capshaw.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, you've been at Capshaw for 23 years.
Yeah.
What keeps you coming back every day and wanting to just continue it the next year and the next year and the next year?
That's a great question. That's a great question because, we all know how hard education is. It's really hard. But this afternoon when I left my students and they were upset that I was leaving them 10 minutes early, it's those moments where you see progress when you have built on being there when they were 5 years old and they didn't know how to keep a steady beat, and here at the end of fourth grade they're playing Jingle Bells on the recorder, and there are some fingerings that are just pretty tricky, and they are loving the harder ones more than they loved the easy ones. Give me more,
Right.
and then you have to see them go to middle school right when you have them right where you want them. They leave you, but that passion that they have, that every day is a brand new day, and they're so set up to be successful. And I'm just so grateful that I get to be a part of that little foundation that helps them. And I hope that my job is to relate to them how valued they are. And above anything else, no matter what kind of rhythm that I teach them, I hope that they know that they were loved, that I loved them, and they love back so good.
They do.
They
Yes.
do. And that's why I'm still there, because I have that opportunity to love them and to hope that they know that they can do anything they want to do.
Yeah. Well, my daughter's 21 and she still loves Miss Miller. Every time I talk to her, tell Miss Miller I said hello.
Oh.
They do. Everybody loves Miss Miller. I mean, who doesn't love Miss Miller, who has just put so much time and effort into music in Putnam County? And you have a legacy that you see go on, because now you're seeing children of people that you
That is so
that
true.
you taught
Yes.
come through,
Yes.
and the legacy just continues. And who doesn't love music? I mean, it's like the universal thing that brings everybody
That's
together.
exactly right. And that's what I was telling my students when we went to the Nashville Symphony, how incredible it was that every child in that Skirmerhorn Symphony Hall had learned that music in a different place.
Right.
And here we all came together, and
Yeah.
it was all one big performance. And then they were like, oh, we didn't think about that. So it's a universal language. That's just something that no matter if you're from China or wherever you're from. I have students from China who performed. They could do that. They can't carry on a very fluent conversation,
Sure.
but they sure could play that recorder, and
Right.
they could sure sing that Spanish song that we performed. So music is powerful.
It is.
It's so powerful.
Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day.
Absolutely.
And again, just thank you for what you do in the Putnam County school system. And hopefully we will see music continue to grow in our schools.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
All right. And that's going to do it for this week. I hope everybody has a great spring break. Don't forget, you can check out the PCS Connection on our YouTube channel, also on our social media pages. Until next week, God bless. We'll see you then.